Okay, everyone, we're back, and yes, this is what I look like, being kind of starstruck with one of my favorite musicians, my favorite sax player in the whole wide world.
Thank
so
you.
I'm so honored to have you back.
Thank you.
And I have some more questions for you. I knew that you were born in Florida, kind of raised in Florida a little bit, and now you're in California?
Yeah, I live in Hollywood, and we live...
Tinseltown.
Yeah, we live right in the middle of the craziness, which is just insane. You know, I grew up on the road, which was, I think, insane. But, you know, then we moved to Florida, which is, you know, just very quiet. We just lived in this little beach town. And so to live in Hollywood now, it's pretty fun. And it's great because all my friends are musicians or actors, that kind of thing. And we all go support each other. So for me, you know, I didn't walk into being an artist. You know, I played with all these people coming up the ranks in every coffee shop and, you know, rock club.
So it's okay to tell people watching it's okay to do the coffee shops.
Oh, you know what? I just think that you have to go out and do what you do. And for me, it wasn't, you know, the simple road. It's not like I came out of college and they offered me a record deal. You know, I went out and I tried to get hired and no one would hire me. I'm sure I didn't look the part. I looked like a cheerleader, you know. Come on, let me be in your band. But I think that made me make my own. So instead of other people hiring me, I hired myself and I made my own band. And, you know, so sometimes those things can be very cool. And so to this day, you know, the guys that I came up the ranks playing with, we use each other for things and we go see each other play and we're just fans of each other. It makes for a really cool family.
When you're that busy with your schedule and when you're on the road that long and you don't get to see your husband quite as much as you want to, so that when you do get to see him, it's nice to rekindle that romance and all of that good stuff. What do you guys do to get away from it all? What do you call your relaxation?
You know, I'm a beach girl. I grew up in Florida, so you wouldn't know it from looking at me, my golden bronze tan. But I love going to the beach. So that's my usual kind of escape. And I live in California now, and there's a beach there, but that's not really the kind of beach, you know, California, everybody's surfing and doing stuff. To me, I just want to sit there. I want to look at the water. I want to, you know, look at the ocean and just the rocks and the sand. So we usually go somewhere kind of far away, turn the phones off, and do nothing.
That's good.
I mean, nothing.
Well, you know, I just reached behind me and pulled your CD back up.
Yes.
And I noticed this time listening to it, it was a little bit different Mindy than what I'm used to hearing. There was a lot more mix in it. There was some real upbeat stuff that I liked, and the one song, you know, True Blue, we know has been #1, and we have another one growing on the charts, Bloom, so if you keep listening in, you'll hear that. But what's the logic behind Rain? That was so pretty.
Thank you.
I really liked it.
You know, I think every album has its own personality, at least for me. I don't want to make the same album twice or more. I get bored with myself. So to me, I think a CD should be a snapshot of where you are in your life. I think it should be personal, and every song on this CD had something very personal that was something that I went through in the last, you know, year and a half of my life when I was writing this CD. And that was where the name came from for the actual CD, Life Less Ordinary, because it was
From a less than ordinary woman.
all about, you know, it was an odd life for the past year and a half. Now, Rain, I started writing, and sometimes you just don't know what you're going to write when you sit down to write a song. You just see what comes out. Well, the first part of the song was just, you know, really melancholy. It almost sounded like it was raining, and I just thought, wow, okay, this is going to be a real, you know, this is going to be a downer. But as the song went on and I just kind of kept playing, it got this kind of optimistic view, and it had this strength. It almost became anthemic, and I just looked back at it and I said, I know what this song is about. This song is about Hurricane Katrina. We just all went through this.
Just came back from there.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
You know, I'm from Florida. I've lived through so many hurricanes, but what they went through, I think the whole country went through with them.
Have you been down there? Did you see the devastation that was down at Hurricane Katrina?
I have only seen, you know, the pictures and the video, and I've watched, you know, specials on it, and it's just, it's awful. I mean, we all feel like we just want to go down there and.
Well, I came back, and we're going to get off the subject a little bit, and it's devastating. The media does not do it justice to what the people down there are going through. So I like that you attribute this song to what the people down there are going through.
Well, I think once the initial media, thing is done, then they leave. Yeah. And they don't realize that it takes years to rebuild from something like that. And, the people in Florida are still reeling from, Hurricane Charlie and, all these hurricanes that came through a couple of years ago. So I think it is, very good to keep someone's eye on, what, these people are still going through it, and here's a song for them.
And I think it's a great song to listen to. And I think you're right. The first 3 cuts on here, actually the first 4 were, I was, driving and I'm smiling and feeling, and then rain came on and it was just a little bit different pace. It was, and I kind of sat back and went, okay, this is a little different. And then it picked up the optimism. So I like the correlation that you're able to use with rain and Katrina. So everybody out there, if you want to feel for how that affected Mindi, I think that's a good song to listen to. No. we go, I have a really good question for you. At least I think it's a good question. There's a lot of I really think this will be easy because you're someone who speaks from the heart. So for anybody who's trying to reconnect into the arts again, or some young kid that's sitting out there watching you going, boy, is she pretty, and then they listen to you play, what advice would you give to kids today to not be discouraged?
I do think it's tough, for anyone coming up the ranks. There is no magic pill to make you successful, and there is no shortcut. Sometimes people get lucky, but that's definitely the exception rather than the rule. You really do have to work for things. I think my best advice would come in the form of a story, if you'll...
Please do.
Well, the story is something that happened to me in high school. And it's very interesting that I went through this at that point, because I think it was a great learning tool for me. Okay. In high school, I wanted to be in the Florida All-State Jazz Band. I thought that was just the most amazing thing, and it was so cool. All the cool kids were in that. And so I felt like, okay, I want to try out for this. And you had to play jazz songs, you had to improvise, you had to, do different things than you'd have to do for a wind ensemble or something like that. So I practiced these songs, and I was improvising and doing my thing. And at a certain point, I just thought, you know what? Why am I doing this? These guys are going to come in and just blow me out of the water. I mean, this is the entire state of Florida, and, who am I? I'm just this, girl who loves to play sax, and I don't know anything about this. No one's ever taught me how to improvise or anything. I'm out of my league here. Okay. So I walked into my father and I just said, you know what? I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go, try out.
So you talked yourself out of it.
I'm not good enough, and I'm just, He was like, all right, that's cool. You can, sure, just quit. It's cool. So his little reverse psychology worked. And I was like, well, I'm not really quitting. Well, I guess I am. All right, I'll go for it at least. So I went in and I auditioned. And I played, and I got it. And I got the first chair alto sax in the Florida All-State Jazz Band. Okay. And I came home and I was just like, Dad, I got it. Like, I can't believe it. And, he goes, Mindi, this is a great lesson, because sometimes it's not the most talented people that get things. Sometimes it's not those people that, are the most gifted. It's the people who just go after what they love. And it's the people who put themselves on the line and go out and do what they do. It's the best lesson in the world, because, sometimes you don't know what to do.
Right. So at the point, I guess the point that you're getting across here is at the point when you think you're ready to give up, or you are ready to give up, don't. Just hang in a little bit longer.
Yeah, put yourself on the line. Don't be scared to go out and play in front of people, sing in front of people, do what you want to do.
Do what you love to do. This has been so much fun. And I needed to tell you this. We were talking before we came on set, and I was telling Mindi about a gentleman that I knew. I was telling him about Mindi and what a great person she was. And he says, oh, I know her music, but I don't know what she looks like. I wouldn't know her. I said, well, let me show you a DVD that we put together. And I pulled it out, and he goes, oh my God, she is so beautiful. People need to see her. She needs to be seen. So here she is. She's
That's
being
awesome.
seen. And a compliment to you from another fan.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's a very nice compliment.
Yeah, it is. So I want to invite everybody to go out and Less Than Ordinary, Mindi Abair, you are anything but ordinary. And I want to thank the Keswick Theater and WJJZ for allowing us this great interview. And there's nothing better than being able to get people in their element, don't you think?
This is our element. I know you said the little, you know, cases and everything.
I'm actually on wheels here, so hopefully I won't be rolling away. Get out! Anyway, thanks everyone. It's been a pleasure, and we'll be right back.
VIP.